Success and leadership, two very big subjects. Wouldn't it be great if we could receive input from one of the wisest men in recorded history? Let us review his words on these topics and interpret his thoughts. Welcome back to Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Today, we're going to talk about some of the basics of leadership and success based upon the logic of the man whose name is synonymous with genius, Albert Einstein. Please join me, Eli's dad, as I converse with the number one variable in my theory of relativity, my son, Eli the Great. Albert Einstein was truly a man of simple logic and understanding. Let's examine his thoughts on leadership and success in his own words. Let's begin with these words. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. Success comes from curiosity, concentration, perseverance, and self-criticism. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. Unquote. Wow, there sure is a lot in those words, Eli. First and foremost, to become successful, to become a master, you must have a definite and single purpose to which you dedicate your whole strength and soul. Distractions and multitasking are fatal to the cause of success. Success comes from curiosity, concentration, perseverance, and self-criticism. Second, in order to reach new personal heights, one must not only be willing to change, but must also give up how they currently perceive themselves in favor of becoming the person that they seek to become. That means that certain relationships have to be altered. As Einstein said, stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Unquote. You see, Eli, certain habits must be changed. Certain circumstances must be discarded and replaced with new circumstances. And most importantly, certain accepted paradigms must be altered or changed completely. These changes may include new thinking habits, new exercise habits, new sleeping habits, new employment habits, and certainly new activity habits. You know, Eli, I never knew this before, but it was Einstein that said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And third, we must continue to pursue new means of intellectual growth constantly, beginning with birth and ending with death. As I have previously mentioned to Eli in our primer on leadership, the greatest leaders that I have known personally continuously sought new and different paradigms, not only in their particular field of endeavor, but also in completely unrelated fields. This curiosity about how others think and how others reach success serves to inspire those at the top by not only keeping them quote-unquote current, but expanding the lens through which they visualize. I've found that the curiosity gene is directly connected to the mindset of the greatest leaders that I've known. Why? Because the only thing that is constant in business is change. Failure to keep up can mark the beginning of the end, both on a business level and a personal level. Personal development is an elixir, and curiosity is a symptom of those infected with the success virus. Let's move on to Einstein's thoughts on leadership. And I quote, 3 rules of work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. And in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. The only thing more dangerous than ignorance is arrogance. Make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Setting an example is not the main means of influencing another, it is the only means. Relativity applies to physics, not ethics." Unquote. Wow again. First, in the workplace, a leader must rummage through the clutter of issues, personalities, circumstances, and complexities to find simplicity and harmony. Okay, big guy, that's the what. What is the how? The how is to develop a game plan that unifies the masses to a singular cause. It is to apply the same principles of success that apply to an individual and transpose them to all members of the work team. It is the cause that is the supreme court of activity, the why. At every fork in the road to progress, the question must be asked, what is in the best interest of achieving our goal? It is the answer to that question that determines direction. It is through this vantage point that focus is maintained, that a lens visualizing expected results is created, and a step-by-step direction is plotted. This vision simplifies the purpose of each team member's activity, and it amplifies the value of each small piece as it relates to the whole. And what is the modus operandi of the leader to accomplish this end and create positive momentum? Setting the proper example himself or herself. Eli, the height of the bar is always set by the leader. When the leader not only follows his game plan and can be seen championing it daily, the workforce will follow suit. They will follow the leader. Too many leaders become focused on their power and their perks. Too many leaders preach the gospel of team play and practice the doctrine of personal convenience. Too many leaders remain stationary in their offices and refuse to be seen as cheerleaders inspiring activity. Too many leaders are a reservoir when they should be a river. Now, when you merely pay lip service to a policy without being its number one advocate, the team perceives that as a betrayal of sincerity. The trust factor comes into play. The rank and file start to think that leadership rhetoric is not the breakfast of champions that it should be, that instead it is BS, a bologna sandwich. Very simply, leading by example is the only way to influence and lead. It's as simple as monkey see, monkey do. Now, Eli, I would like to add one more life lesson from Dr. Einstein. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. A clever person solves a problem, a wise person avoids it. Unquote. Now, sometimes it's important to stand up for what you believe is right, even though it may cause a confrontation. There are many and varied topics that categorically justify assuming a confrontational posture. These causes may range from a disagreement in the home or workplace to social injustice and beyond. On the other end of the spectrum, too many people tend to take unnecessary action on events or circumstances that are best left avoided. To express this sentiment another way is to ask, is this a fight worth fighting? Or sometimes, is this an activity where it is better to postpone immediate action in favor of a better time and or place? Let me give you some examples of what I mean, Eli. When you live in a cold weather climate, it's not an infrequent occurrence to be challenged by inclement weather, either ice or snow. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people get into their cars, slip and slide their way to some destination, and then they get into an accident. These same people then complain that their car insurance premium was raised because of the accident. But it wasn't my fault, they say. Well, yeah, it was your fault, because you chose to travel at a time when hazardous conditions increase the odds of an accident. Snowstorms don't just happen and take you by surprise. You're informed well in advance of the probability. Do you know how to prevent car accidents in a snowstorm? Avoid driving. Now, when I give you an example of driving in a snowstorm, Eli, that's only a metaphor of many of life's circumstances. If you know that it's going to, quote, snow, unquote, in your life, make preparations beforehand and avoid trouble by maintaining a safe distance. This refers to contact with troubling people, troubling places, and troubling things. Aren't there some people that just give you a rash when you think about them? It's all about making good judgments, my friend. As a teenager, you will encounter some kids that are always on the lookout for mischievous excitement. Understand that if you continually hang with them, when they get caught doing something dumb and get into trouble, you'll hang with them then too. Recognize that some places that you may go are more prone to criminal activity. You can't get victimized there if you're not there. Wisdom means to not only do the right thing, but to avoid putting yourself in a position to be victimized. Now, at our next session, our topic will be about trying new things. That is, getting out of your comfort zone, anxiety, and self-esteem. To ensure that you're present and accounted for, please remember to subscribe and click on the bell notification icon. Eli and I would very much appreciate it if you would offer some suggestions for topics that you would like to see discussed on Project Eli. We welcome your comments, questions, and critiques in the comment section below. Our thought for the day is from Edgar Cayce. Quote, "The more and more each is impelled by that which is intuitive, or the relying upon the soul force within, the greater, the farther, the deeper, the broader, the more constructive may be the result." And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.